are now tuned into the sounds of What Black Men Like.
The number one apex in the world. I know there's something absolutely unique about these guys.
Excellent podcast.
Women standing up for themselves. Okay.
We are back. Best podcast in the game. You are now tuned into the sounds of What Black Men Like. Welcome back to What Black Men Like, the Black Man's Lifestyle Podcast. This is yours truly, Mr. No Cat. Of course, we got the regular cast of characters in the building. Brittney, Burna, Willie P. Willie P is actually running late, but he will be joining us at some point. Want to give a shout out and a happy birthday. I believe Willie P had a birthday recently, actually. So happy 65th birthday to Willie P. And many more, my guy, many more. And we also have two special guests. So I want to give our guests a chance to introduce themselves before we get into this topic. So I'm going to start with the ladies first. I'll start with Miss Rain. Miss Rain, can you come in here and introduce yourself real quick?
Hi, everybody. My name is Rain. It's a pleasure to meet all of you guys. I'm an author. I'm a poet, teacher. I'm very happy to be here. I appreciate you inviting me.
And we also have Coach Taylor representing H-Town. Coach Taylor, can you come in here and introduce yourself?
Yeah, Coach Michael Taylor, as mentioned, calling in from Houston, Texas. I'm a certified life coach, podcaster, entrepreneur, author of 14 books. Been studying and researching the changing roles of manhood and masculinity for more than 25 years with a focus on Black male empowerment.
Today, we are going to be talking about some of these terms that are out there in the zeitgeist, the social media. There's the soft girl era and there's the soft man era. So these are terms that I'm not personally familiar with. I try to limit my exposure to social media. The soft girl era, I believe, has been around for a while, and I actually had to look it up. So when I looked up that term, there's a couple definitions, but the main definition that came up is the soft girl era is where we, as in women, focus on self-care, prioritize ourselves, manifest a life of ease, go with the flow, not try to force anything. There's also another definition that describes how it came to pass, which is this term kind of bubbled out of youth subculture and emerged among female teenagers around mid to late 2019. And then you have the Urban Dictionary definition. This era is an era in which a female chooses to only have kind, loving, gentle, and supportive people in her life. So these are some of the multi-definitions for this phrase. And we'll kind of get into how that coincides with the soft man era, whatever that is. But Rain, given what I just laid out there and given your understanding of this term, what does that term mean to you?
Well, I have to say, I'm with you. I had to look up the soft girl, soft man era. I completely agree with what's going on both ends, because being in a soft girl era, you should have self-love. You should surround yourself around people that's going to uplift you and make you feel good, So it starts with you. You should do things that make you feel good, reading books, going out in nature, whatever, doing whatever that makes you feel good. And you should surround yourself around people like that. I don't surround myself around any person that's going to make me have any type of discomfort. So I agree with the soft girl era.
Brittney, Burna, is this a phrase that you were already familiar with?
Oh, yeah, definitely already familiar with it. Like you said, it's been around for a while, and I got a couple of younger friends, so they done made me crack a giggle or two hearing the words. And you know what? As I thought about and prepared myself for this conversation, I thought to myself, I really don't like the idea of a soft girl or a soft guy era. People being healed or working towards healing should be a normal and regular thing. Although I do appreciate the awareness and the attention brought to it with these cutesy little millennial and Gen Zer phrases, but I don't feel like it's truly necessary. I feel like as we are aging, you have a lot of adults who are moving towards that same sense of peace, which is just something that kind of comes with age and wisdom. You start to realize going so hard till you burn out is not something that is fun to do. You want to, find those moments to give back to yourself and love on yourself. Something that should be embraced in a more normalized. It shouldn't be just this era. It should be something that is broad spectrum every day.
Yeah, I like that. Coach Taylor, your thoughts on this term? Were you previously familiar with it? And if not, what are your thoughts on the term in general?
Yeah, I have not heard the term, but I am in complete alignment with what I think it represents. In my work, what I've noticed is I believe masculinity is still evolving. And from a male perspective, men are beginning to wake up because primarily as men, we were conditioned to believe that we only had three primary responsibilities, the three P's: procreate, provide, and protect. And so as men, that's where we focus most of our attention on. The problem is we were never taught how to connect. And what does it take to connect? It takes our emotions. But as men, we were conditioned to believe that, wait, feelings are for women. Men aren't supposed to feel. And so men have hid behind this illusion that they aren't supposed to be in touch with their feelings. And so we process everything from the head up, and we wonder why relationships don't work. And the reasons relationships don't work is you can't be relational if you're unwilling to be emotional. And so this soft male term, if you will, is really part of what I believe is human evolution. Men are deciding, I want depth in my relationship. I want connection in my relationship. I'm tired of just going with just the physical. I want to connect deeper. And so that's what my work is about. It's about challenging men to go a little deeper within their own hearts and minds.
You know, open up a can of worms with that statement.
Yeah.
Willie P is in the building. So I know you're not a social media guy, so you probably never heard of this term, the soft girl era. But just thinking about that term, and I read the definition, what do you think about the use of that phrase?
Basically, what it sounds like is they just are being feminine. Now, as far as being soft man, I don't agree with that shit at all. Not one fucking bit. I think a soft man is a man ready to be conquered by somebody that's fucking a hard man. Soft woman, absolutely. Any man that's ever been soft in history, those are the men that don't get talked about. Why? Because they die. Those are the ones that are ready for the slaughter. The ones that are talked about are the ones that they understand, hey, this is what I need to do as a man. And they go out and they do that thing that's necessary. Now, I do agree that at some point you do need to come back down. You can't be hard all the time, especially when you're dealing with your family, children, your wife, and all that stuff. Yes, I do agree with that. But they should be able to bring that side out of you. They should be that expression of your softness. That's what I believe. So, yeah, soft girl, it sounds like just a feminine woman, a lady, a classy woman, things of that nature. A soft man, nah, I don't agree with that shit at all.
But are you hung up on the word soft, or are you understanding truly what the term is encompassing? Because I feel
Okay,
like
well, explain it to me in very simple terms. What's a soft man?
Oh, Willie jumping the gun. We haven't got to the soft man part yet. We still dealing with the soft girl era, which Willie basically is saying is just women embracing their femininity, waking up to the fact that, okay, we in this masculine world, being overly masculine hasn't worked for us. Let's try what we're actually good at, which is being feminine and soft. That's what it sounds like to me. It's just we tried this being in a rat race trying to compete with men, and that hasn't really got us anywhere in terms of happiness.
Yeah, and I just want to say real quick, being a soft woman, that doesn't make you weak at all. As a matter of fact, No Cap said last season, that's a woman's superpower. And I absolutely agree with him on that. That is your superpower. The right woman that knows how to use her femininity, she can bring a man to his knees if she's doing it right. But if you come at a man sounding like a man, then, you get what you get.
Coach Taylor, you had something to add?
Yeah, I was going to say, so when you hear the word soft, I think that's the triggering word for me, because when you think about masculinity doesn't have anything to do with being soft. Masculinity, authentic masculinity, in my experience, is about a man who is in touch with and knows exactly how he feels and is able to express how he feels. So in other words, he's emotional. That doesn't mean he's soft. That just means he knows how to be in tune with, in touch with himself.
That's fair.
I don't agree with emotions. I don't agree with that at all. I think that they are distractions.
You think emotions are distractions?
I absolutely do. I think that emotions are distractions from logic. Now, I think that as men, we have primary emotions, and I think that those primary emotions are drivers to get you to accomplish your goals, to do the thing that you were set out to do. That's what I absolutely believe. Because it'd be foolish as a man to say that you don't have emotions. Well, how do you get to the point where you love your children? How do you get to the point where you love your wife and stuff like that? We as men, I think people think that we as men don't have emotions. That's absolutely a fucking lie. They're our prized possessions and we don't give them to everybody.
With that being said, and here's the thing, most men cannot identify the four basic human emotions. So what are they? And we'll go to Willie, since Willie is pretty passionate about this. I'm just curious. What are the four primary emotions that all human beings feel?
Well, primary emotions are different for everybody in
No, no,
different
no, 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 no,
No,
no,
hold
no,
on. Are
no,
you gonna let me answer the
no.
question? No,
Go
wait a
ahead.
minute.
Go
Don't
ahead.
dictate my answer. So here, this is what I've learned because I've been in different places in the world. That's just how it is. I've been involved with different cultures because that was part of my experience, my career experience. So in different parts of the world, primary emotions are different, but you can have some similarities when it in terms of masculinity. You have happiness, right? Anger is an emotion, right? Those are extremes. Sadness is an emotion. Fear is another one. All right. Those are what you're gonna be looking at. But when you come to the point of masculinity where your logic is, it's gonna override those emotions. Where instead of you feeling fearful, you understand that hey, I need to accomplish this thing. That logical understanding gives you courage because you have to accomplish that thing. When you feel sad about something, you understand that, hey, guess what? I'm sad right now. Let's say a funeral, for example. I'm sad right now, but people need me to be strong so that they can be sad. So your logic is going to override that. That's my experience. But you go to different places, they're not going to have that.
But it might be the same. It's just expressed differently. So, Coach Taylor, are you saying that there's four basic human emotions that are expressed differently based on your cultural background? Is that what you're saying?
No, so what I'm saying is, what are emotions?
Okay.
Emotions are just energy in motion. Okay, energy in motion. And he hit the nail on the head. There are four primary emotions. There's mad, glad, sad, and afraid. Okay,
Hmm.
those four primary emotions are four energies that
Hmm.
move through our body. I don't
Hmm.
care what culture you're in, those four energies are inside of us. That's just
Hmm.
human nature. And it is our willingness to be able to know when we're feeling those four emotions that
Hmm.
dictates how we succeed. For example, there's a lot of men, and again, in my work, I see this all the time. Men are comfortable expressing anger because in our society, oh, that's just what men do. But in a lot of cases, it's not really anger that they're feeling, it's fear or it's sadness. But they don't know how to access those two emotions, so they go straight to anger.
Hmm.
And so, what my work does is help men distinguish between the four energies that they're feeling. And when you can do that, then you give men the tools to deal with life.
Yeah. In my mind, I always distinguish between emotions and feelings. Feelings were how you direct that energy. It's like a river, and you have these different channels which you can select based on how you feel. Brain, what do you think about
Yes,
what's been said so far from a woman's perspective?
I agree with Willie P. Our decisions are driven by our emotions. And as he was stating, he said, we got to get this thing done. I have to think logically. I have to be strong in my decision, regardless of my emotions. So it's like I have to push my emotions to the side. I'm feeling happy, sad, mad, whatever feeling that I'm feeling. However, I need to push these feelings aside so I can get the outcome that I'm trying to get, because a lot of women are driven by their emotions and they do things off of their emotions and they're not thinking logically about a
Hmm.
situation, and where a lot of us mess up. But if you're thinking logically, if you're thinking in solutions, if you're thinking in goals and what needs to be accomplished, you must think logically. Because if I'm thinking emotionally, then everything I feel, in my personal opinion, is going to fall apart. But if there's a man that's emotionally intelligent and in tune with himself, ladies can sit back and watch their man, watch their friend, watch their father, whatever male is involved in their life, and they could learn, like the women could learn, let me handle my emotions, put my emotions to the side and be strong so that I can get these things done that needs to be done.
Britt, I'll direct this question to you, and Ray, you could jump in. Do you think that there's a lack of exposure to emotionally intelligent men? Part of manhood, in my opinion, is being able to guide, being able to lead. Guidance, a lot of times, is done through just people watching how you move, how you act in certain situations. So, Britt, do you think that there's a lack of exposure to truly emotionally intelligent men for women to observe?
I think there's a lack in general to the emotional intelligence that men are exposed to. Like you guys have mentioned, generation by generation, you have these people who are like, you can't cry, don't cry. You have different taught responses. In my opinion, emotions are like teenagers. They're the undeveloped version of what experiences that are coming at you. So think of it like you said, you lose a loved one and you're immediately maybe upset. You might be angry at the person who took them. You might be sad. You might be all the different things, right? But you're sad because they're gone. You miss them. You can get through those emotions, work through them logically, and find out why this feeling is connected with this particular situation or action. So, yes, I do believe that there is a lot of men who have been essentially redirected to show their emotions differently. And like Coach Michael T said, you have people who are expressing anger when really there's sadness, when really there's fear of losing. It's not necessarily being properly expressed.
Okay. Staying on this whole idea of soft, I want to throw out examples that may have a man being put in a soft category. So the first example is a man allowing a woman to pay for him in any capacity. So if you are going out to dinner and you allow a woman to pay for you, is that soft? If you getting flued out as a man, is that soft? Because it seems like the goalpost moves depending on what we're comfortable with. If she paying for my haircut, my meal, my shoe, then all of a sudden it's not soft no more. So Willie P, the woman is paying for you. If she's paying
Right.
for certain things, is that soft?
Hell no, it's not. Absolutely not. Like, here's my thing. Here's a couple of questions. Why would it be soft? And then, really, what we're talking about is finances, money.
Right.
I don't like how people try to attach finances to masculinity when that's like the bare minimum. If we were in a society that had no money, does that mean that you ain't a man because you ain't got no money? Right? You still a fucking man. I don't like that shit. I don't perpetuate it, not at all. It's kind of like if somebody said, you know what, is this woman not a woman because she's not giving sex or she's not doing these things? They try to attach being a woman with being able to produce children. What if she can't have kids? Does that make her not a woman? Listen, is it soft? Absolutely not. Not at all. I think if you're in a relationship with somebody, you don't want to be the one that's doing that same thing over and over and over and over again. Even if it, let's say, cooking. Okay. Am I soft because I, go in the kitchen and cook? That don't make no fucking sense. And then when you meet the woman, she paying for something. When she go out with her friends, she paying for her fucking self. She might even pay for her homegirls. How does that make you soft because she paid for you? Hell nah. Even though if she said, hey, look, I want to take you out. I want to take care of you today. Okay, cool. I appreciate that.
Yeah. That's what
But
I'm
what
getting at. I want to take you out. I want to spoil you.
Well, there ain't
That's what
nothing
I'm
wrong with
Right.
that. What if we living in a house together and then something happened and I'm not able to pay the mortgage? What, we just gonna let the fucking house go down because I'm not able to pay the
Hell yeah,
mortgage
you
and
soft
she
ass
not?
nigga. Come on.
See what I mean? Right? That's fucking bullshit. Listen, this is what I say. Listen, I
Oh
say this,
man.
and I'm gonna say this as a fucking absolute. Then I'm gonna let it go. All right. If you are a man and you don't allow a woman to pay for you or treat you because you feel like it decreases your masculinity, then you are a fucking idiot. You're a fucking fool. And as a matter of fact, give me that woman. All right. She can pay for all kinds of shit. She can pay for this dick I give her if she wants to. I don't give a fuck.
Get your ass up.
Coach Mike.
Well, again, it's really about redefining role, and a role is basically how we do things as we're conditioned. For example, if a man feels emasculated because his woman makes more money than he does, which a lot of men do feel that way, it's because he's trapped in an antiquated culture that says, as a man, we're supposed to provide. And so there's a lot of men that are struggling because they feel like less than men because maybe they meet someone who does make more money than them, who does have more education. So again, this is what my work is about. My work is about challenging men to look at the antiquated roles that we were conditioned to believe were the way we were supposed to be men, but embrace some new ways. For example, how many men would be comfortable being stay-at-home dad? Not a lot, but there's more. More men are waking up to that idea. Why? Because they don't have a choice. Because women now are making more money than men. They're graduating from college more than men. And so if we aren't willing to embrace some new roles, we as men will be left behind, if you will.
Rain, Britt,
Very bold statement.
what do you ladies think about paying for your man? Because I need some new Jordans. So if I can, if you guys are comfortable with that, I'll just, send you the link.
Well, I would have to say I have no problem doing that. And to be honest, I don't care if you're my man. I don't care if I'm just a person just fucking with you. Because if you're in my presence, I'm going to make sure that you're straight. If you are in my presence and I'm fucking with you like that, I'm going to make sure you're straight because I know that you're going to make sure I'm straight. It's called reciprocity. I'm not
There
going to
you
allow
go.
you to. That wouldn't even sit right in my spirit, you know? So that's
Mm.
just me. I just feel like I am different than a lot of females because I spoil myself. So if you're in my presence, you're going to get spoiled as well.
Mm.
Exactly. Because that man is a representation
Exactly.
of you.
Exactly.
You're gonna get a lot of DMs, Rain. I just want you to know that right now. Britt, do you
Y'all
concur
know me,
that?
reciprocity all day, all day, all day. I'ma stand behind, I'ma treat you how I want to be treated. So, like she said, sneaky link, friends, family. If I'm exposed to something, if I'm eating good and I want you to eat good with me, I'm going to provide. You don't have to bring anything but your body and yourself. Have a good time. Let me know how you feel about the experience. Bring me that authenticity. I'm not worried about anything else but being treated well.
I don't like the keeping score thing. Like, oh, I paid last time. This is not a basketball game. Like,
There's an extent. Don't take advantage, but absolutely no score is being taken.
So, Mr. No Cap, let me tell you something. Everything is going to flow. It's going to be an understanding anyway because of how our energies are connected. So it's like
mhm.
everything is going to flow like it's supposed to. And if it doesn't, then I don't think that you guys should be messing around or together or nothing. Like everything should flow freely like water.
So
Right.
it sounds like what you're saying is that people are kind of focused on the wrong things. Are you forced in this situation, or is it naturally evolving as two people getting to know each other? Now, the
Mm.
second thing that I wanted to talk about in terms of being soft, and I'll start with the ladies, is the idea of women approaching men. So that's another social norm in our society where typically men are the ones that are approaching women. So as women, how do you feel about approaching men, and do you feel that a man who doesn't take the initiative to approach women is somehow soft? Go ahead, Rain.
I'm really battling with the word soft, but I'm going to run with it. Okay, I have no problem with that. However, the only reason why I wouldn't do that is because I'm shy. But if I see something that I want, I'm going to push myself to be, okay, you can do this, pump myself up, because I don't want to miss out on something that I'm interested in. Have I done that before? No, I haven't done that before because I just haven't. I haven't got to that level. But as far as getting something that you want, as far as a woman approaching a man, and very respectfully, I don't see a problem with her saying, could I buy you a drink? How are you doing today? And sparking up a conversation to show interest. I don't see
Mhm.
any problem with that. And I think that men will respect that more for the roles to be reversed and not have this expectation as, oh, I'm not going to ask him, does he want a drink? No, why not? Why wouldn't you? Could I get your number? I just feel like men need to feel special. Men need to feel valued. Men need to be respected. I don't see any problem with that at all.
Brittney Burner, you out here buying dude drinks? What's up? What you doing?
I don't think I've ever bought a drink. I don't think I've done it in that way, like that way that men do it. But I can definitely say I don't mind initiating at all. I definitely have done it more than once. And I don't think any less of you for it. The confidence definitely is appealing to some. It's not for everybody, but
Mhm.
being approached by a woman is definitely appealing to some men. And then there's definitely the notion of if that is not necessarily the energy that you're going for, there may be things that is missing for me. So let's say I wasn't approached by that man. Maybe he is not as much of a assertive person, or there's just qualities that I'm looking for. I do like somebody who's outgoing. So if you are a little bit more shy and too shy and withdrawn, then that kind of takes away from the whole situation. So usually, typically, someone who approaches you already has all of those things going. So, you kind of get a little bit of both, but I don't say that that automatically makes a man soft or, makes him lacking in those qualities either. You never really know.
Willie P, how do you feel when women come up to you?
You know, it's kind of a turnoff for me. It's not because of the woman. It's kind of because of my selection process. I'm a hunter by nature, right? So when I'm looking to choose a woman that I want to talk to, because I mean, to be in all honesty, the men are the selectors, men are the choosers, right?
unless it's a pimp situation, then the women choose the pimp, right? But for me, I like to be the one that initiates that thing. The reason I like to do it is because I look for certain characteristics, right? Now, if a chick, she approach me, I don't care how fine she is. She can be the finest, whatever, Rihanna, Halle Berry mixed all in one, right? But if she come up at me, her attitude is weird, nasty, she popping her gum and shit. She got a little bitty shorts cut off. No, I don't
Why
want
would
that.
that be the girl? Why would that be how she come? What is wrong with it?
That's an example from fucking Brittney Burna. That's an
Why you can't?
example.
Why you can't imagine the woman that you look for that will walk up to you?
I was getting to that. Thank you very much, but you cut me off. Oh, interrupter, right? So, like I said, my selection process, if it's a woman that I'm attracted to, she classy, she carry herself well, I want to see how she talk. Now, if she got some common sense about it, because that's what I like, all right? I want to see, hey, look, does her mind match what I'm envisioning? I mean, there's a reason why men don't approach women, especially in this area, right? Because I know in this area, they think it's a game to fucking reject men. And some of it be like fucking gorilla, beastly looking bitches. It be the worst looking ones. The ones that are
Oh
highly
wow.
confident, right? They don't do that. The ones that are very classy, they don't do that. And then, the ones that are classy and highly confident, they don't get approached because they're living in the residue of what these trashy women are doing. Now, if a woman offered to buy me a drink, I would think that shit is weird as fuck. I'd be like, yo, you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't even fucking no, I don't even drink. Or if she brought me a drink, I ain't drinking that shit. Like, nah, girl, get the fuck out of here with that.
So yeah,
But that's just me. That's
right.
how I operate. Now, I'm not saying that women shouldn't do it. Go ahead, fucking shoot your shot and then see what you can get. All right, but don't come at me fucking second choice. Because if I see you get turned down by some other dude, it's a wrap for your ass for the rest of the night. I ain't fucking
Hilarious.
coming at you
I'm
again.
fucking
Coach
crying.
Coach T, just in terms of sheer numbers, DMV area, the ratio is so off. Some women almost have to approach men. They're never going to have a dating life if they don't approach men. So, what do you think about that?
First of all, as a blissfully married man for the past 22 years, I'm glad I don't have to deal with
Yeah,
that. But
22.
it would not offend me at all. I would have absolutely no problem if I were single that a woman would approach me. And again, as long as she shows up and she's confident in herself and carries herself well, I would have absolutely no problem with a woman approaching me.
I think we
You know,
kind of got to define approach because approach to me probably is different from how a woman would approach me.
Okay, so approach means you have interest in a particular person that is sexual or personal in nature, meaning you want to get to know them beyond surface level interaction.
Cordial.
Yeah, beyond just the cordial hi bye, what you would do for any stranger that you meet on the street. You're approaching
Right.
somebody with a specific intention to go beyond that.
And
Okay.
initiating it.
We're probably never going to get away from, because again, it's in our nature to be that way. Men who are embracing their manhood will probably want to initiate their interactions with the women that are in their lives.
But also, one of the things that I do challenge women to do is to gain the confidence in themselves to be able to approach a man. And it's a really difficult thing because, again, cultural conditioning says the man's supposed to do that. But those roles are changing. So many women who go through some of my programs, they say, I'm really glad because I've been, wanting to talk to this guy for a long time. I didn't have the confidence. And now I talked to him and we went on a date. But again, it's really it's a matter of changing roles. And it's a slow moving process. But I believe it's moving in the right direction because we're starting to understand that what we truly long for is connection. And so how do we get connection? Then we have to reach out to people to connect.
So I just want to add a little caveat, throw the flag real quick. I think what we have to understand is the difference in the masculine and feminine with acceptance versus rejection. From my experience, right, not to try to combat what anybody is saying, but from what my personal experience for women or for the feminine, a rejection is like a hard stop, but acceptance is a bit more open. For a man, acceptance is kind of like, it's not a hard stop, but it's like, hey, look, let me slow down and pay attention to this. Where rejection, it means, okay, cool, let's keep pushing in terms of confidence, right? Because sometimes I can get a rejection and I'm like, okay, cool, on to the next one. right? I'm glad I don't have to waste my time with you. Well, some men, other men, they get rejected. They're like, you know what? I ain't talking to no more women. And then there's some women where, I talk to them, their acceptance is a bit low because they probably been burned from past relationships, just or past experiences, something like that. Where I talk to another woman and her acceptance is high. I probably don't even have any intent behind saying, "Hey, how you doing?" But because her acceptance level is so high, okay, that now I'm a bit more interested and I carry on the conversation. So I think we kind of got to understand that. That can give us an understanding of why people do or do not approach.
Term you mentioned was rejection. Rain, you brought up something. It was a very self-aware statement where you said that you were kind of shy in some ways. So do you think that possible rejection would alter how you would approach? Rejection is part of doing business. When you're out there talking to people, rejection is a possibility.
Yeah, rejection is absolutely a possibility. And that might be another reason also, the fact of getting rejected, but I can handle it. I don't know how men are, I'm just thinking of a teenage young boy and he's like, okay, I'm going to ask this girl out on a date. I'm going to do it tomorrow at school. Like, that's how I kind of feel. But like I said, I've never approached anybody, but I haven't been in that position yet. And maybe I will. My friends are always like, come on, you can do it. Go, go, go. And I'm like, oh, but I'm pretty sure if it's somebody that catches my eye and my vibe and just vibes with me, just with the energy and everything, then I can see myself mustering up enough courage to do it.
Rain, I want you to next time you go out, I want you to scope out a dude. I want you to highlight him, report back to us what happened. We will have a follow up. Look forward to that.
Did you
But
get the dick or not?
all right, so as we end this episode, going back to the initial subject, the soft girl era. So there's this concept of men playing a role in initiating that soft girl era, meaning that, it's the job of the men in society to take women out of the survival mode in order for them to be able to tap into their soft side. The idea or the debate is it the woman's responsibility to come to the table already soft and feminine, or is it the man in general, the man's responsibility to create a space where she can come to the table as soft and feminine? So what do we think about that? Is it mainly on the men to create an environment that allows women to be soft and feminine? I'll start with Willie P.
So I'm gonna say it's both. I'm not gonna make you a feminine woman, right? You're gonna have to come with that energy already, or I'm gonna fucking pass you by. Me as the masculine, I normally attract the feminine. Not normally, but this is how it is. I attract the feminine. Now on the flip side, right? I need to be so comfortable in my masculinity that you can rest in your feminine nature. You don't have to worry about doing the things that I'm supposed to be fucking doing. All right. With me, that's where that comfort level comes from, and that makes her more feminine. I understand that some women will have their guard up in the beginning of the relationships because they're trying to fill out that type of comfort. And I understand that some women, will have, a little bit of resistance if they've been burned in certain situations. I understand that. In that regard, then yes, it is the man's responsibility, I feel like, to put that woman at ease and let her know, hey, listen, I'm the man. You don't have to worry about those things, so forth and so on. However, don't be trying to ask me to make you a fucking woman. I'm not doing that shit, not at all. You're going to have to come with your fucking resume of experience of how you have been fucking feminine as fuck throughout your fucking life.
The feminine resume is hilarious. Brittney
That's
Burna,
why he
Rain.
lucky I agree. That's the only reason he lucky I agree. Because he foolish as hell saying shit like that. He's still correct because I do have to already be feminine. You can't make me something I'm not. And two, if I have to be the man, if I have to do it all, if I have to be the man, the woman, the brother, the sister, the cousin, the mother, the father, then unfortunately, that's what it is. That's
Right.
what I got to do.
Right.
Quite frankly, just as Willie P said, I'm not going to be going somewhere where that's what I have to be because, as I mentioned earlier, I'm looking for reciprocity. I'm not looking to sit here and carry on any specific role. I'm looking to love and be loved in return. That's it. That's all.
Before I get to Rain, the term is called conditional submission. That's the term, conditional submission. But Rain,
Right.
thinking about that, leaving it up to the man to have to create a space for you to be feminine versus you coming to the table already feminine.
No, I just think that a man creates the space for a woman to feel protected and loved and respected and admired and being loyal. You have to already come with your divine feminine energy. Nobody can teach you how to nurture a man. Nobody can teach you how to comfort a man or be there for a man or even allow a man to be vulnerable. But we need to create a space for men and women to be able to express their feelings towards one another without being looked upon as soft. Because you want your man to be able to have a conversation with you and be like, baby, I had the worst day ever. Us females do that, right? And our man is there to comfort us and pat us on the back and rub our head and be like, baby, it's going to be okay. But do men have that? No, because it's like, oh, well, you strong. It's going to be okay, baby. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like women need to come as women and to be accepting of the fact that, look, know your role, play your position, know how to make your man feel good, figure out what he likes, what is his love language, and then execute.
Okay, okay,
Whoa.
Rain. Listen, shit, you might need to get swiped down right now.
Hey, look, when she talked about creating a space, this is the space right here. This is why we have this platform. So to me, be self-defined, be self-aware, and be self-defined. Don't let anyone label you as soft, toxic, whatever these other terms that we talked about on these previous episodes. It's when you allow yourself to fall up under these general terms like soft, which can be very subjective term. Everybody has their own perspective of it, just like the soft girl era. When I looked it up, it was 20 different definitions of what this phrase is, but you don't have to wait until you hit a certain age
Yes.
to be truly feminine. You can start today, tomorrow, yesterday. There's no era. When you woke up as a woman, you were feminine, you were soft. The fact that you woke up, you already in that era. With that being said, I want to thank our guests for coming in and having this great discussion. Shots to Coach Mike Taylor. He had to jump off, but we'll try to get him back on at some point. We'll make sure that we put his contact information in the description. Rain, it was a pleasure to have you on here. I would love for you to come in and tell people where to find you and how they can support you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for having me. So you can find me on all social media platforms, SWEET_REIGN_914. And it was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. What Black Men Like? Best podcast in the game. We did it again. We out of here, y'all. Deuces.